Welcome to the Crypto Lab. Today we are going to talk about how you can read crypto charts like a pro. Without further ado, let's begin. Before you can place your trade, you need to understand what are the mechanics and the logics behind the candlestick first. So the next few slides, I'm going to share with you how you can get those informations from a single candlestick. So right here, we are going to associate two different colors to candlestick, namely the green color for a bullish candlestick and a red color for a bearish candlestick. All right, so I'm going to talk about what are the information you can extract whenever you saw these candlesticks right here. So first of all, let's look at this candle. This is a Japanese candlesticks, or this we call it the Japanese candlesticks because it looks like a candle, okay, with the body here, with the wick on top here. Now, what are the information that we can get? Why there's a wick on top? Why sometimes there's a wick at the bottom? Why sometimes there's no wick? Sometimes there's only a wick at the bottom or at the top. Okay, so in this video, we are going to talk about the details and the mechanics and the logics behind it, what you can do whenever you saw these different types of candlesticks. Now, first of all, let's look at this green color candlestick. This green color candlestick, it shows us the opening part of it, the wick here, the lowest part, the highest part, the closing part, the body, and also the wick. The same goes to this. The red color one is just the reverse. Instead of open at the bottom, this is open at the top, close at the bottom. So it's just the reverse, right? So the logics behind it, I'm going to talk about it in the next few slides. Let's look at the next slide first. This first candlestick, the green color candlestick here, is a very strong candlestick. Both of these are strong candlestick. Okay, so the candle starts here. Imagine that we are looking at the 1 hour chart, means the movement of each of these candlesticks is the movement in 1 hour time. Okay, so this is a candle start point on here, and it moves all the way up and it closes exactly at the 60th minutes, which is 1 hour. So whenever you saw this green color candlestick like this, it just means that the bullish momentum here is very strong. Okay, with no wicks at the top and the bottom. The same goes to this as well. The only difference between the red and the green color candles here is the opening point. Okay, so the opening part for the green color is at the bottom, the opening part for the red color is at the top. So this one, it starts here and it goes all the way down here. Does it close at the 60th minutes? This is a very strong bearish momentum candlestick. So when you saw a very strong momentum candlestick, what you're going to anticipate on the next candle that might form here, it is basically the overspill of this momentum. So this is a bullish momentum. The overspill of this bullish momentum, we are going to anticipate that the next candle should be a green color candlestick as well. Okay, the same goes to the bearish candlestick. A strong momentum of a bearish candlestick, overspill to the next one, it should be another red color candlesticks here. Okay, of course, there's no 100%. This is just as a reference for you to make your decision later. Okay, let's look at the next slide. The next slide is going to be a little bit different. We are going to have a wick at the top and the bottom. So what does it mean when you have a green color candle with a wick at the top? So at first, the candle starts here. It goes all the way to the highest point, but it did not manage to close there. Maybe at the last few minutes, it comes back down and close here. Thus, it leaves a wick at the top. All right, so when they saw a green color candlestick with a wick at the top here, what is the meaning of this? Okay, initially it was a bullish momentum, very strong, but eventually at the last few minutes, the seller starts to come in and pull the price down to close the green color candle here and leaves the wick here. So this means the seller has started to come in. The bullish momentum starting to get a little bit weak already. So whenever you saw a green color candlestick with a wick on top, it means that the bullish momentum starting to get weaker. All right, now let's move on to the red one. The red one here, it started here. At first, it goes up and makes it a green color candlestick. But eventually, it doesn't stop here. It doesn't close here. In fact, it comes down and surpassing the opening point, changing the green color candle to a red color candle and leaves a wick at the top at the very same time. And the candle continued to move all the way until to the bottom part, and it closed it here after the 60th minute, thus have these formations of this candle with a wick on top. So what does it mean here is that Initially, it was a green color candle, and eventually the seller comes in, surpassing the strength of this bullish momentum, change it to a red color candle. So whenever you saw a red color candle with a wick on top, is that the seller has started to gain its momentum. This is what it means. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. The next slide, it will show us both candles with a wick at the bottom. Okay, let's talk about the green one first. The candle starts here. At first, it comes down, make it a red color candlestick, and eventually it moves back up, pushes back up, surpassing the opening point, changing the red color to green color candlestick, and leaves a wick at the bottom. And the candle continues to move all the way to the top and closes there on the 60th minute. Okay, so does it have this green color candle with a wick at the bottom? It means that the buyer has starting to take over the momentum from the seller initially. Okay, so this is what it means. And when you come to the red color candle, the candle starts here, goes all the way down to the lowest point, did not manage to close, push back up and close here and leaves a wick. This candle means the buyer has already starting to comes in, trying to take over the bearish momentum here. So this is what it means on this red color candle with the wick at the bottom. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is where you have wick at the both top and the bottom on these both candles. Let's talk about this green color candle first. On the left, the candle starts here. At first it comes down, make it a red color candle, and it did not manage to close at the bottom. The buyer comes in and pushes up the point, surpassing the opening point of this candle, changing the red color candle to green color candle, and it continues to move all the way up to the highest point. It did not manage to close there, and it comes back down, leaves a wick at the top and close over here. So what does this mean? That initial part of this 1 hour candle, it was a bearish momentum. Then eventually the buyer starting to take over and surpassing the strength of the seller, pushes it up, makes it a green color momentum. But however, the strength of this buyer is still also not enough to close it here, and the seller starting to regain its strength again at the ending part of this 1 hour candle. So whenever you saw these candles here, it actually still a bullish candle. However, please beware, because the momentum here is starting to get weaker already. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is whereby it starts here, it goes up, makes it a green color candle. It did not manage to close there, pushes it down, surpassing the opening point, changing the green color candle to red color candle, and it continues to move all the way down. Did not manage to close here, push back up and close here, and leaves a wick at the bottom here. So when you saw a candle with red color with a wick at the top and the bottom, it only means at first the bullish momentum was formed here. But of course, the seller starting to take over the bearish momentum, so it takes over, pull it all the way down, and at the end of this 1 hour candle, the buyer also starting to comes back in to play. It did not manage to close here. So when you saw a candle with red color candle with a wick at the top and the bottom right here, it's still a bearish candle. However, please beware of the momentum of this bullish or the buyer part here, because on the next subsequent candle that might form, it might be a push all the way up here if the bullish momentums are strong. So please beware when you saw this kind of momentum here. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is what we call it the doji candlestick, both green and also red. Doji candlesticks is very unique, whereby the candle starts here, comes down, red color candle, did not manage to close here, go back up, pushes up, surpassing the opening point, change the red color to green color, go all the way to the highest point, did not manage to close there as well, comes back down to the opening point and close there. So basically it starts here and close here also. So this is what we call it as the bullish doji candlesticks. The same goes to the bearish candlesticks. It starts here, at first it goes back up here to a green color candle, did not manage to close here, comes back down, surpassing the opening point, changing the green color to red, go all the way down, did not manage to close here, comes back down, come back up again, close it at the opening point. Thus you have the doji candlestick. So it just means that the market player between the buyer and the seller is keep on pushing and pulling over here in this 1 hour, and it haven't determined which side is stronger, to push the momentum or the movement of the next candlesticks. So whenever you saw a doji candlestick like this, whether it's a bullish candlestick or a bearish doji candlestick, please wait first until the next candle has been finalized, open and close on the next candle to determine where is going to be the next possible direction that you want it to move. Because a doji candlestick, it just means that it is indecisive at this moment of time where it haven't decided where they wanted to move. All right, so don't place any trade whenever you saw a doji candlesticks. All right, so now you understand the mechanics of a single candlestick. What does it mean with the wick at the top and bottom or both? Now we are going to zoom out, and now we are going to zoom out. So when you zoom out, you're going to saw more different candlesticks. So combination of candlesticks, we call it candlestick patterns. Now let's try to understand candlestick patterns. This is just for reference only, because eventually you won't see any shapes like this, because when the candle closes here, the next candle should actually opens here. It will not open roughly about here, okay? But this is just only for reference. This pattern here, we are going to call it as the three line strike bullish candlesticks pattern. So what does it mean is that when you saw these three red color coming down, eventually at almost the same size, and the fourth candle is a green candle, which is taller than any of these three candlesticks combined. So this is what we call it as a three line strike bullish. So when you saw a three line strike bullish, what you are going to expect is that the next candle should be a green color candlestick. So it will help you to make a decision better whether you want to place a long or short position. All right, so this has been historically given us 84% of success rate of these reversal candlesticks patterns here. Okay, now if you try to revert this to the opposite side like this, it becomes three line strike bearish. However, three line strike bearish do not give us as high success rate as the three line strike bullish here, 84%, 65%. But yet again, these are just for reference. Okay, so when you saw a three green color candlestick that almost the same size, suddenly the fourth candle becomes a engulfing red color candle, which is like bigger than all these three color these three green candles combined. That is a three line strike bearish. So we are going to anticipate that the next candle should be a red color candle as well. Okay, so of course these are only a few examples that I'm going to show you here. You need to do a little bit of extra homework here, where go to Google, type in candlestick patterns and search under image, where you're going to see a different types of candlestick patterns, where you will have to, or I would encourage you to try to memorize as many as possible, because the more pattern you memorize, the more tool under your belt that is going to help you to make your decision on where to place your position of your trade. All right, so please make sure that you do your homework, go to Google, search under candlestick patterns, search under image, try to memorize those patterns as many as possible. Okay, and I would like to talk about this one as well. This pattern will not be widely or frequently or commonly available on crypto chart. This will be available on stocks chart or forex chart, where you have this market opening and market closing hours. Okay, our crypto charts, you don't have that. It's been running on 24/7. So what happened here is that you have a gap in between candles. Okay, where the candle closes here, and this, imagine that this is the market close, and when the market opening, it doesn't tally with the closing figure of the volume, so thus it drops down here, or maybe it goes up. So thus you have this gap in between. But crypto, you don't have market opening or close, because you are not going to see it. The only time where you're going to see this gap, it is on that particular coin, on that particular time, on that particular exchange doesn't have enough liquidity to support the movement. Okay, so that is the only time where you can see this gap here on the crypto chart. All right, so let's move on. Once you have understand candlestick pattern, as we zoom out even further, you are going to see chart patterns. So what is chart pattern means? So when candlestick appearing on chart, sometimes it will call incidentally form some patterns that we call it as chart patterns. A few common chart patterns I was going to show in the next few slides. Chart patterns are used as a reference to predict where are the possible directions of movement of the candles will be. So let's move on to some candlesticks patterns. So this bullish patterns has been shown here, a few examples like this. This is a double bottom. So can you see that this is maybe your 3 line strike bullish is here, your 3 line strike bearish might be here, and the rest of it are the candles. So combinations of all these candlestick patterns and candlesticks might form some patterns that we call it as a chart pattern. So this is a double bottom pattern. So when you saw a double bottom pattern that has been appearing on chart, where we are going to place our buy position here and our stop loss will be here. Okay, the same goes to the symmetrical triangle. If you draw a line to connect the tops of all this candle, draw a line to connect all the bottoms of these candles right here, you are going to see a symmetrical triangle shape that has been formed. So the moment it has this breakout that happens right here, place a buy position and the stop loss here and enjoy your profits. Right? The same goes to this, but of course, not all of these patterns are commonly seen. Some common ones are this one, the bottom, symmetrical triangle, pennant, flag, cup and handles, ascending triangle. These are the common ones. Okay, so yet again, these are not the only chart patterns available here. Again, you still need to do your homework. Go to Google and search for chart patterns and try to memorize as many of them to help you to make your decision whenever you saw those or encounter any of these patterns to be formed on your chart. Okay, so when we have bullish pattern, if we try to reverse some of these patterns right here, you're going to have the bearish patterns. Something like this. So when you have that bullish patterns like flag, right? So your candles is moving up, accumulate here, form something like a flag here, then eventually the candles move up. So this is a bullish flag pattern. You will also have like a bearish flag pattern where the candles goes down, accumulate here, and it comes back down. So this is where we put our sell position. Our stop loss will be here. So these are only, yet again, a few examples. Some common ones are flag, inverted cup and handle. So can you see that inverted cup and handle? It was actually from this cup and handle. So when you reverse this pattern here, it will become inverted cup and handle. And the same goes to this one, head and shoulders top. When you have like this head, it doesn't look exactly like this. The head should be slightly bigger as compared to the left and right shoulder. So that's we call it the head and shoulder pattern. This is where you're going to place your sell position here. Stop loss will be at the tip of the shoulder, the right shoulder, and enjoy a profit. Try to memorize as many as possible of all these chart patterns and also the candlestick patterns, because it is going to help you to increase your tools under your belt. So whenever all these patterns that appears on the chart, it should help you to make your decision better where you should place your trade. All right, so of course all these are just for reference. It's not a financial advice at all. It's for educational purpose, right? So go to Google, do your homework, okay, find some more of this pattern and try to remember as many as possible. It's going to help you to make your decision way better. Ultimately, once you have understand how to read charts, you should need to place your trade. Where you should place your trade, there is no better exchange than BitUnix Exchange. So where you can get your BitUnix Exchange, go to the description area, sign up for your new BitUnix account, and send me your user ID through my Telegram, where I'm going to add you to a closed group where you're going to enjoy this support directly from me, where I'm going to make sure that everyone makes money in my community. Okay, so go to the description area, sign up for your new BitUnix account, and thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video.